Give a man a fish, and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he will eat for the rest of his life. Teach a woman how to be happily married, and everyone will eat, sleep, and be merry. It's time for Real Women, Their Ups and Downs, and Life Confessions here on the Happily Married Wives broadcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast.
Real Women, Their Ups and Downs, and Life Confessions.
I am Lady Nakia.
And I am Latisha M., the host of tonight's show. Well, Lady Nakia, we are coming up to Thanksgiving. Such an exciting time this year.
Yes, it is. I love this time of year. Well, I guess I should take that back because I loved all the food, and now that I'm trying to, do right by my figure and all that, I guess I should probably say I like this time of year. I don't love it anymore.
Trust me, I get it. So what is it that your family does that's like unique or special for Thanksgiving? Because, Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that creeps up on you because everybody is so busy preparing for Christmas. So what do you guys do to set Thanksgiving apart?
Well, this year is going to be a little bit different because usually I usually have a lot of people over. We usually cook and use our house as the host house. Well, this year, around this time, 2 years ago, my sister passed away, and so I try to make sure that I go and spend that time with my mom instead of having a lot of people come over to my house. I usually let my mom cook because it takes her mind off of things, and I try to go and spend that time with her so she doesn't feel that void of my sister being gone.
I know that's right. Anytime you're missing family around this time of year, it does make it a little harder, but it makes it that much special because you have somebody that, you are in celebration of all the time.
Yes, I love it. And one thing about me is I'm growing to love the holidays because it seems like the more my kids get older, the more they get to appreciate it. And when they were younger, it just seemed like we going to grandma's house or people coming over here. Like now they just glad to, be able to have this time and spend it with family, especially because it's so precious.
Absolutely. I love it. And you have a nice little size family too.
Well, A to the man. It is 7 of us, and it's 7 of us, and everywhere we go, you better make sure you got enough food because we are coming to tear some things down.
I know. Let me tell you, when you told me about your grocery shopping and everything that you had to do just preparing for a regular time with your family, I was so shocked. I was like, oh, my goodness, yeah, they've definitely taken care of it over there. So you wouldn't mind if I slipped, I don't have any kids, but if I just slipped a couple of kids over there, you wouldn't even notice.
That's right. And you know what? Hold on. It's funny that you said that because it seems like everybody with kids around our age, every weekend we wind up being the babysitters. And may I mind you, my husband and I are the pastor and the first lady. So what we say is we can't understand why is it that all the married people and the single people don't have no kids and we got everybody. We can't understand, but we always are the babysitters club. That's what we call ourselves, the babysitters club.
I'm telling you, because they're like, well, it's never not a child in your house. So, you might as well take mine too and take theirs. And
Yes.
I love it. And, it's just such an exciting year. I got to tell you, my husband is a huge fan of the holidays. He's like, any holiday, he loves to, he'll probably even start taking on some Jewish holidays. That's how much he just loves holidays, And so we are in transition of going from Virginia to New Jersey. So, we're kind of we're dating again, So when we see each other, it's like, what can we do? And so he was like, listen, the holidays are going to be the bomb. You're going to love it. And I know he really means that because he is so in celebration of holidays.
Wow.
It's a great time of year. And I also, earlier today, since this is Monday, we gave out 50 food baskets to families who could not afford to feed their families for, big big Thanksgiving-style dinners.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
I'm on a board for a nonprofit called Spread the Purple, and, just to be able to give to somebody and give lovingly and without judgment and without fear of what they're going to do with what you've given them, and knowing that they're going to be able to provide and have a great holiday, it's always such a blessing.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you said that, because on last week, elder in our church, he just started last year, but this is his second year, and he hosts an event where we do exactly the same thing, but the food is cooked. So basically, there's vendors there, live music, all types of things. Well, he and his wife blessed one of our members that is a single mom with 2 children, blessed them with a 2005 van.
Where was that?
Yes. Yes. But see, knowing this mom and, her struggle that she has been having, God does, that's a definite reminder that God does hear our prayers, and he sees our tears, and I really, really, really thank God just for letting him use them in that manner to bless somebody else. And it wasn't for show or because the funny thing is when they gave her the car, she was at work. So basically her daughters were there, and they gave them the keys, which they can't drive, so they didn't drive it home, but they gave them the keys in blessing their family, and she was at work. Wasn't even there. I love it. Absolutely.
Yes. And that's just showing that the spirit of humanity is still alive. With all the craziness that's going on, let's just take it outside of our family and look at the craziness and the anger and hate that's going on around the world, to know that it's still people, organizations, your neighbor, some of your relatives who are still in a giving heart to that kind of extent. Is just beautiful.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
Well, Nakia, I know everybody is waiting for us to get into this show, so we're not going to hold them back any further. Tonight we have such an amazing broadcast. The lineup that we're going to share with you is just going to be fulfilling for you. So, Nakia, I know tonight you have an amazing segment. You want to tell them what the segment is before we go to commercial break?
I am going to be speaking about understanding your spouse's love language.
I love it. We love some love language around you, girl.
Listen. Yes, I do, honey, because it seems like once that fire gets sparked, you don't want that thing to die down. So, yes, I love it. I absolutely do.
Well, what they're going to have to look forward to later on after your segment, I'll be talking about, being thankful in your relationship, in your family, and in your community. So I know, we want you guys to stay tuned. We have so much love to pour into you tonight. And, you might want to put the kids to bed for, some of what we're going to be saying, but it's not bad. It's just grown-up talk sometimes, guys. It's grown-up talk.
That's right.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people in America live with a mental illness? Do you have the communication skills to help out if one is in a crisis? What if it's your best friend? Maybe your son or daughter? While crisis intervention isn't new, the book Crisis Intervention 101 is. It's easy to read, includes links to 2 videos, and it's under $10. Get your copy of Crisis Intervention 101 today on Amazon.com, because we all need help in a crisis.
Hi, I'm Rita Ricks, host of Spirit Journeys Radio, inviting you to our 3rd annual Burn on December 27th from 4 to 6 o'clock p.m. We'll work together to determine what person, place, or thing you must leave behind in 2015. You'll write your choices on a piece of paper and drop them in the fire so that you can enter the new year brand new. The cost is $10, and you can register at www.speaktoyourspirit.com. See you on December 27th.
The Queen Esther Radio Show is live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me, Jessica Taylor,
and me, Jason Mosley, to be entertained by authors, artists, and spiritual leaders.
We look forward to being a blessing in your life every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Only on the MWHY Radio Network.
And welcome back to the Happily Married Wives Radio Show. I am Latisha M.
And I am Lady Nakia. And I'm glad you have joined us tonight.
Oh, yeah, girl, I know. This is going to be so good. I know we are going to be breaking into your segment, so I am going to let you take it away, and I'm going to get my pen and paper out so I can take some notes.
Oh, all right. Okay, so I just want to start off by saying thank you guys for joining us today. And I hope that this dialogue that I have will bless you, because when I tell you that it really blessed me, it really has blessed me in my marriage. I want to talk about understanding your spouse's love language. One thing that I saw probably the other day on the news or on Facebook or something, it was an article about some celebrities that had been divorced 3 times or more. And so when I looked at that, I really kind of got a little puzzled, because I said, what in the world could make someone want to divorce and remarry, divorce and remarry? I mean, I always told my husband, like, I didn't get married to get divorced. So if we get divorced, then this is it. Like, I think I probably just want to be by myself. But just to get divorced and remarried all over more than, 2 or 3 times, like, I just think that that's kind of crazy. And I just had to think about what in the world could have been going wrong in those relationships that would make them. And then sometimes, the common thing that people would say is, if it happens once, then it probably was the both of you. But then if it begins to happen 2 and 3 times, you have to look at the common denominator. Yeah. And so that common denominator for me would be the person that is jumping from the relationship, not the person that they are getting involved with. So then I looked at another example, and this person or these people are, growing in the gospel community. They are growing in the television industry, and it's Pamela and David Mann, who have been married for 27 years and have about 4 children. Now, I would like to ask you, Latisha, like, what do you think the difference is between the 2 marriages or the 2 relationships?
I'm going with God.
It has to be, right? It has to be, because there's no way that you could tell me that one person or one couple can be married for 27 years with the ups and downs, with the bumps and the bruises, with the for better or for worse. And then here we have is someone who is in the music industry or in the movie industry and can't stay in a relationship. And so maybe this is something that I just came to a conclusion with. Maybe, and just maybe, that person and not the people that they are getting involved with have not figured out what their love language was. So they are trying to relay to someone that they get into a relationship with what they want when they have no idea what they want themselves. That's, to me, that's kind of a hard task to do, because how can I tell you? That's just like a baby. sometimes when they're so sleepy, it's like they can kick and scream and they're just fussing, but they can't speak. All they do is whine or, tug on you or whatnot. But really, they don't really know what they want. They're just tired. So that's almost like what these couples are, or these celebrities or actresses are saying to me, is that they don't really know how to express what they want, which causes them to jump from person to person because they can't relay it. So I wanted to talk about today just some different types of love languages, because my husband and I have been trying to build up marriages in our ministry, and we've been using a book by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages. And so because I knew that I was doing this show, I even went online, and they have the 5lovelanguages.com has a website, and it has a little test on there. And on the test, it's basically asking you, do you like, when your husband holds your hand, or do you like when your spouse brings you gifts, or, all these different things. And at the end of this, then they go and they tell you what your love language is based off of the responses that you give to this test. So I wanted to see to address some of those love languages and let you know what they are, so that you can identify what yours might be. One of them is words of affirmation. The other one is acts of service. The other one is receiving gifts. Another one is quality time. And the last one is physical touch. Now, words of affirmation just means that the person wants to be encouraged by you, or wants to know when you're pleased with them. And acts of service means, like for me, that's my love language. When my husband takes my boys to get a haircut, I listen, I could jump on him all night because I love it. I mean, I could come home and he could have vacuumed the floor with the lines in it like I like in the carpet. And, honey, I'm going to tell you right now, he got me. He could play the slow music, the whatever, and I'm all on it, because that's my love language. But then you got some that like receiving gifts, and sometimes it's not even a matter of what type of gift. It could be just a simple little gift, but they love receiving things. Then you have some that like quality time. Well, quality time doesn't necessarily have to mean that we're going out on a date, but that quality time could mean when your husband or your spouse is sitting in their recliner or something watching their sports show, that when the spouse comes in, they turn it down and they pay attention to that spouse. Or even when that spouse is in the room, they cut the TV off, showing that you have my undivided attention. And then if you have a story to tell, they sit there and they listen to that whole story until you're finished. That's quality time. And then you have the last one, which is physical touch. Sometimes some men like to be stroked on their head, or some like to be rubbed on their face, or even women. Sometimes we like for you to hold our hands, or, just kind of rub us or massage us or something. Those type of things are the things that should be in a relationship so that it can be healthy. And, Latisha, I just want to ask you today, like, out of me saying what the love languages were, what's your love language?
It is acts of service as well. And I know my husband is physical touch. Acts of service, like you said, when you just see your spouse doing something that normally you would do, and they just like, well, baby, I just wanted to do that for you. I just wanted to get that done. Like you said, that does it for me. That's it. You don't have to give me a thing. It's what you do in service that excites and ignites that's fire in me. I agree with you. Kids, I hope
love it.
they not in the room.
well, no kids better not be in the room, because I'm telling you, I'm putting on that red dress and I'm stepping in them high heels.
Go on, girl. Go on, girl.
But I just think that a lot of times, that we don't know what our love languages are. And I just want to, get this information out there, because it wasn't until we got underneath our spiritual parents, Dr. R.A. and Lady Vernon out of Cleveland, Ohio, that we learned, what our love language was, and that it was important, or that it was hindering us. And see, sometimes, we don't want to have that accountability, or we feel like we grown. Nobody need to tell us how to, be in a relationship, or this is my relationship, those type of things. But no, we need to be able to be taught, be teachable, because there are so many marriages that are failing or falling into adultery, or just divorcing, and it's at an alarming rate. But if we could just take the time to get to know, one another, instead of always trying to find the easy way out, then it would be so much better. And that's why when I think about those celebrities, I'm like, these are beautiful, beautiful women. Like, I mean, they're not just all African American. They're just not all Hispanic or Latino. They are not all Caucasian, and so my thing is it doesn't matter race, gender, whatever. It's saying that they're beautiful but can't stay in a relationship. Something is wrong with that, because that goes to show you that it's not the beauty, it's not the money that keeps you, it's not the fame, that keeps you. It's knowing how to be pleased, and or how you want to be pleased. It's another thing. But I got a question. Could it be that their basic needs haven't been met or figured out as well? And let me give you a rundown of what basic needs are from a book called His Needs, Her Needs. They are affection, sexual fulfillment, intimate conversation, recreational companionship, open and honesty, physical attraction, financial support, domestic support, family commitment, and admiration. That almost sounds a little bit like the 5 love languages, because all of them at some point, everybody wants some type of security. And in the basic needs and the love languages, it's basically all evolving around security. I want to be secure in you telling me that I look nice. I want to be secure in you pleasing me. I want to be secure in, just you being open and honest with me. I want to be secure in our finances. I want to be secure in just you encouraging me. So all of this revolves around that. And I just want to ask, what is it in our relationships, and why is it that what is it in our relationship that's hindering us from having a healthy marriage and understanding our love languages? And why don't we take the effort or the time to be able to get to know one another, just like David and Tamala Mann have for 27 years, and we can't stay married for 6 months? So, I mean, I really encourage some of us women, to talk less and to observe more. In our relationships, sometimes we are so selfish and we don't think about, the other person. I was doing a class one day where it was building up women. So we broke off to the single women, went one place, and the married women stayed. And I taught the married women, and I basically asked one of the wives, I said, have you ever thought that your husband might deal with self-esteem issues himself? That he could be insecure in himself? So while you're thinking, oh, I got a little fat, or I gained a little weight, or my hair doesn't go the way that I want it to go, can you think and imagine for a second that maybe your husband might not feel secure in himself, but you're not lifting him up, or you're not pouring into him the way that he needs to be poured into? Can you think for a second that maybe if he gained a few extra pounds and might not feel secure within himself in that regard, can you think for a second that on his job he might be challenged by a lot of females, or maybe even some of his coworkers that could be males, and has a challenging job and doesn't feel very secure in himself? Can you think that maybe he might not feel like he's the best father, or the best parent, or the best sex partner, because sometimes men deal with those issues too? Can you think for a second, besides thinking about yourself and your needs to be pleased, how you can please your spouse?
I know that blew their minds.
Well, Latisha, I think that if I had a question to ask my younger self, because that's one question that I have for you, is if I went back to my 20-something self, my 20-year-old self, what would I say at 37 to my 20-year-old self? And I said, I would say, Tia, shut up. I would say, be compassionate. I would say, love on your husband. And I would say, to give him all the sex that he wants, is what I would say to my 20-something year self. Now, at 37, I think I kind of got it. That's at 37, but at 20-something, I think I have, because being married 17 years, things change. People change. You evolve. And so basically the needs that you might have wanted, now at 37, you might not have wanted at 20, but I can look back and I can say, man, if I had changed it back then, we would have been a lot better off. So, Latisha, I ask you, what if you had to go back and ask your 20-year-old self, or, it could be early 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, whatever, what would you say to yourself?
I would definitely say to verbally express my love for my husband more often. He is more sensitive to that side of him than I am. I don't need for you to tell me. I can see it. But like you said, everyone is different. And I had to learn that. And if I could have done that earlier, the insecurities and some of the ups and downs would not have been necessary. So I had to learn how my husband wants to be loved.
That's right. That's good. Well, ladies, I hope that you guys are listening up to some of the different issues that even your husband can be dealing with, because sometimes, like I said, we're the ones that feel like we want to be secure. The men want to be affirmed. So therefore, in the affirmation from us, whether it is, bending over, turning over, rolling over, standing up, whichever way it is to affirm, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's putting a muzzle on your mouth so that you don't say nothing. I don't care if it's, just trying to make sure that you lift him up in whatever area your spouse may need to be lifted up in. Do it. And don't give any fuss about it, because if it's you would want him to not fuss about giving you what you desire. They're no less than what we want to have. So it's our job to give them the respect that they deserve and that they need, and that comes along with pleasing them. So I just want to throw this shameless plug in there, because some of us have jumped into relationships, but we haven't even dated properly. And one thing I would suggest, too, is going back and getting Dr. Vernon's book called 10 Rules of Dating. It's still never too late to learn how to date one another. So you can go and get that book, and then you can also pour into your marriage that way. And if there's some single women that are listening as well, and you're thinking about being involved or you're involved in a relationship, that is a very good book and a guideline for you to use in your dating process.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You know, Nakia, I've learned so much from your segment, and I can't wait till we get to the end so we can just review and I can share with you what I gathered. But, you know, it is that time that we pay these bills, so we have a commercial break coming up. So, everyone, we don't want you to go anywhere. We are going to be coming back. You are listening to, this ain't the Nakia Hour because, girl, we can let her go because she's amazing. But it is a Happily Married Wife radio broadcast. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you frustrated, disappointed, discouraged with your life? Are you angry with God? What's holding you back from fulfilling your purpose? Are you struggling as a leader in ministry? Do you believe you have an end-time calling? If you answered yes to any of these questions, tune in to The Waymakers on MWHY Radio Network every other Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here to support you. Join us to get the answers that will prepare the way of the Lord in your life.
In a fast-paced world, getting your message heard everywhere can still be a challenge if you're not connecting to your target audience. Allow MWHY Radio to assist you in getting your message heard on social media, video, digital magazines, on apps, and on our broadcast network. MWHY Radio's broadcast listeners tune in online through 10 terrestrial stations on iHeartRadio and during live events. Visit our Fiverr page for special offers throughout the summer to assist you in jump-starting your advertising needs. That's www.fiverr.com/MWHY Radio. FIVER.com/MWHY Radio.
If you're the parent of a child with behavioral challenges that has been suspended, expelled, or just not able to make it in a traditional school setting, there is an alternative. Call the Metropolitan Day School today. Licensed and accredited grades K through 12. Call 804-321-2595. Financial assistance and after-school programs are available. Let's turn this school year around right now at the Metropolitan Day School where Eagles soar. Call Ms. Thomas today. 804-321-2595.
Welcome back to the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast. I am your host, Lady Nakia.
And I am Latisha M.
And we are glad that you have joined us. Before we go into our next segment, I just want to encourage you ladies to stay tuned for what's to come on this broadcast. I promise you won't be disappointed. There's some very good information that is going to be relayed here. So now we would have our next host.
Absolutely, and I am so excited to, just be here. I am a special guest on this show because I'm not even supposed to be here, but I'm telling you, when the opportunity came, I don't say no. I do say no, but I don't say no almost to nothing. So I was just so excited to be here. And, and just thinking about what this season is, what this moment right here, what we're doing in November, leading up to December, leading up to the new year. This is your time for change. But it's not that you need to change. It's not a negative change. It's time for you to enhance and grow. It's time for you to develop new things about yourself and about your marriage. And it's time for you to be joyous. I love the holiday seasons, but my husband, he loves it even more. I think if we can give an award out for someone who is dedicated to the holidays, that young man would get it. And just thinking about what the holidays means to him, it wasn't always happy times. And for me, it definitely wasn't always happy times. But we had to create our own trend and our own brand together, and for that he will never take any of that away. So I want to talk to the people out there today, the women who are listening to this broadcast, and even the men who may be sneaking on in and listening to this broadcast to find out what their women talking about. I want to teach you about loving to learn not just the holidays, but what the spirit of it can do to move, shake, and make a difference in your family. You know, Nakia, I was saying earlier that I know that you have a big family, and I know that in the premiere show, you and I were talking about, you know, what do you do during the holidays and, you know, how you keep your blended family, not blended family, but big family together. And one of the things you said to me, and I know you were like, oh, I'm surprised you remember that, was that you started making the holidays not just about your family, but y'all created your own hub so people would feel welcome to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I stated that my husband was in the military, and so we had to move away from our family, and so it was like the family that we met in different states became our family. So therefore, when we came back home to Indianapolis, it just carried along with us to adopt different people that may not have had family or have a small family, and we just all get together and have a good time, just as if we were family.
Yes. And, you know, and that's the important part of it, and that's where I want to come from with this. It's not about the family that you have. It's about the family that you create and make.
That's right.
It's about being able to go anywhere and everyone always feel welcome. And how do you do that? How do you create this hub? Well, it's like I said, it's about keeping your family's needs first, so that even though the holiday seasons are a joyous occasion, you are carrying that joy throughout the year and for years to come. It's about taking those little moments and making them so special that even when your kids are flipping through old books and looking at this and like, I can't believe Mom did this, I can't believe Dad did that. This was so fun, or, you know, that was just amazing. So they're actually appreciating the time, the joy, the love that not only did you give your hub, but now you're taking it out. You're going to shelters, you're going to centers, you're visiting nonprofits, and you're sharing the love that your family has created, and you're showing other people how to love, how to appreciate, how to understand that it's okay to have genuine joy.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Genuine joy is, you know, when you look at these holiday movies, I'm sorry, guys. When you look at these holiday movies, the first thing that comes to mind is that can't be real. Oh, that's so fake. But there are people that actually live their lives like that. They are a hub. Dinner is important to them. You know, special occasions, going out as a family or just as a couple, because we need our out time, okay? But those things are real.
Yes, we do.
But I come across so many people who are in that transitional place of being happy on occasion. They don't understand everyday joy. And I come in, and a lot of times it's not just everybody who's single. It's a lot of married people who live their lives like that. As the lady of the church, how often do you see couples who have been married for years, maybe even have kids that could be up to their teenage years, but they don't have genuine joy in their life?
Well, I see that a lot, and sometimes it's troubling to me and my husband because we're like, you know, we don't understand how people don't have peace. And, you know, when you have peace, then that means that you have love and you have joy. And so just take that the opposite way. When you don't have peace, you don't have love and you don't have joy, and you don't know how to relay that to somebody else. And so it's hard raising children, you know, and trying to bring up a family when all you have is negative things or, you know, negative things to pour into them, and you're never satisfied. And, you know, with family, it's supposed to be important and it's supposed to be, you know, a blessing. But I think that when we look at it, from the perverted lens, a distorted lens, then we don't appreciate, having our families or whatnot, and that's why we don't have peace and joy and love and are not happy about these times of the year.
Absolutely. You see so many depression. You see, especially amongst our single community, a lot of withdrawal. Sometimes they hate going to family functions if they don't have somebody with them. So I just want to, go into the next topic of that, which is it's not about the gift or the gift giving, but it's about the faith connecting. If you have a faithful connection in your life, you will experience unabridged joy. It comes without a price tag. It comes without the fear of self-doubt or self-loathing or self-hate. When you find that faith connection, I'm not here to tell you what type of church to join, but you need to believe that Jesus died for you and that God is real and that he listens to prayer. Even when you pray in silence, I love praying in silence because I be ad-libbing, right? So I'll be sitting there praying, and I'll be like, God, I didn't mean that. I meant to say this, or because you can't take it back. He hears your thought. So, we don't want to see your smile because I want to see your smile. I want to see your smile because you have found a safe place in your own heart. Your mind is clear. You've given it to the Lord every time you wake up. If you got to give it to him again in the middle of the day, if you got to give it to him again before the evening is out, and then before you go to bed, you are clearing your mind one more time. But every time, this will give you that spirit of fellowship every day, not just during the holidays, but then in the holidays, you're really going to shine and sparkle because you're going to be even more in the presence of the moment that this season brings. Another thing that I find is that if you have found your faithful connection, then you have to get your family into that faithful connection. And your family is your spouse. If you are single, your family could be your best friend. Your family could be that coworker who you want to invite to come out and fellowship with you. But being able to do that for somebody is going to be a way for you to share the gift of the spirit of what is going on. It will bring joy to your life, and now you are spreading that message by bringing joy to someone else's life. One thing that I find that, girl, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm working hard over here, guys. I'm working hard. Yeah. So what I find that, and I don't know that I'm sure there's a study for it, but guys, I really came on this show last minute, so I don't have it up. But people who have music playing in their household throughout the day on a regular basis, maybe not every day, but on a regular basis, has a more light, loving, and fulfilling household. I think we might need to talk about what kind of music is playing, but it's something about the spirit of music moves us. It calms us. It riles us up and gets us excited in the heat of that moment. It gets us dancing. We have a joyful and sharing and loving experience because music is one thing that we can all share. Now, I was going to say music is free, but that's not true.
Latisha, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think that's really good. I think about Mary J. Blige in her song where she says, it makes you want to dance. You know, it really does.
Feel free to break in and interrupt me anytime because I know whatever you're going to say. And, if you're just joining us, you have to go back to the beginning of the show so that you can hear Lady Nakia sing to us too. So anyway, but it's something about music. I remember growing up in my grandmother's household, there was music. Anytime that we play music here in my house, my husband, he's a dancer. Wouldn't you just love to see a man just come in and just stop whatever he's doing and just kind of groove? It keeps your youthfulness. It keeps your spirit and your hope. You could have had a bad day, but the right song is going to take all of that away. It's about the spirit of the moment, the spirit of your surroundings. So now we talked about you being conscious of yourself and how you can change in your faithfulness. We talked about bringing in people to help them experience the same joy and love and connection. And now we're talking about your surroundings with music, with joy around you at all times. You know how I used to work in corporate world, and if you playing music at your own little desk, you say, because I don't want nobody's mess to break in to my happy mood.
Come on here.
We create our environment around us. So keeping that in mind, let's take it a step further. Social media is at its highest point that it has ever been. Obviously, every year that is going to go on for the rest of this world, social media is going to continue to overtake more and more of what we see and what we do and even how we interact with some people. That is our new reality. Now, keeping that in mind, I do not like, share, or comment on any negative posts that I come across. Because,
me neither.
What people don't know about Facebook is that if you like that post that you saw about a fight, they're going to start streaming more to you. If you like that post that had all that profanity in it, Facebook is going to start streaming more of it to you. You can have 10,000 friends. You actually can't. You can only have 5. But you can have 10,000 friends on Facebook, and you won't even see your best friend's post for 2 weeks because if you haven't liked any of her posts, they stop showing it to you. They only show you things that are similar to the things that you normally comment, like, or share. So what is Facebook doing? They are now creating your atmosphere. Your atmosphere that you see dictates the mood that you're going to be in. The mood dictates your spirit.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
You can't carry the fellowship of a happy spirit throughout the year if most of the time you're surrounding yourself with negativity.
And my husband always says, what you feed yourself will grow. So if we're watching Housewives of Atlanta, which may I add that none of them are married, Housewives of Atlanta, and we're watching that every week or every day, or Jerry Springer or whatever you want to call your favorite show, if we're putting that down on the inside of us, but we're never allowing the Word of God to minister to us, we're never listening to any Eric Thomas, motivational stuff getting down on the inside of us, then all that's going to pour out of us when it comes time is drama and the different types of things that we're watching. So what goes in your ear gate, your eye gate will come, and your mouth gate, it will come back out. And so therefore you have to feed yourself some seed, and the seed has to be it has to be positive, it has to be encouraging, it has to be uplifting, because if not, what you feed yourself will grow.
Absolutely. Well, when I come to visit, I'm definitely coming to your church. Anyway.
Well, we waiting on you.
I enjoyed your husband. I enjoyed. He's such. He's coming from a true place, and that's why I know that your fellowship is always full because the people just love you. But and that goes to my next point too. When you think about your atmosphere, the people who are surrounding you, and what you change in your life as far as what you do to incorporate a faithful connection, it's also about just the genuine joy in your heart. You can do all of these things. We have people that go to church every Sunday, that are a part of the choir, that are even in all of the groups, mothers of the church, deacons, whatever it is. They bring people in. They're constantly smiling and bringing people in, and they are givers. They love to give everything, and anytime you get in your car, the gospel station is on. But what's true in their heart is that they're sad and alone. They're not really believing in what they're hearing. They're just thinking that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
In their back door, they're doing dirt. In their back door, they are watching pornography. In their back door, they are cheating on their spouses. In their back door, even if they're not married, they have multiple girlfriends or boyfriends because in their heart is not healed.
I agree.
Their heart
and
is
Latisha,
not healed. So
and Latisha,
in order, yes, ma'am.
I was going to say, before you move forward, my husband, and I always reference him because I love that man of God. My husband, every time we have to take him to the hospital, he hates the hospital. But every time we go, he's been complaining to me that something is hurting really bad or, you know, he really needs to go. But when we get there and we get into the room, the doctor says, how bad is your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? And he would say that, oh, it's probably about a 3. And I'm standing in the background and I'm saying, like, no, that ain't right, baby. Come on now. Let's go ahead and be honest right here. And then I said about a 10, like, come out and say that. But my husband said that's exactly what we do at church. We'll come and we'll do the altar call and we'll say, is anybody sick and need to be healed? That could be sick in your mind, sick in your heart, sick in your body, you know, whatever. We could say deliverance is here. Jesus wants to heal you and he wants to save you. And we'll sit in our seat and we'll just act like there is nothing wrong with us. But we had just had an episode at home saying, God, I need you to do something for me. But when he sends the messenger, you act as though the message wasn't for you.
Yes.
So that goes the same way in saying that when we have a spiritual hospital where we can be fed and healed, we don't take advantage of that. We would rather carry our junk around with us instead of handing it over to God.
Yes. Yes. You know, that's what's so important about what I think I want everyone to get out of what I'm saying today. I want you to create that spiritual fellowship. I want you to bring as many people as you can, because the more people you surround yourself with like-minded faith and like-minded ideals, you will soar. It's not about the actual tangible gift. It's about your faithful connection and your atmosphere that's around you. Like you said, what you hear, see, and say affect your mood and it affects your spirit. But you can do all of those things. But if you're not going to be true to your heart,
that's right.
All you're going to have is that moment of happiness. That, you know, that Thanksgiving was your highlight. Christmas is your next highlight. New Year's will be your last highlight, so possibly your birthday. And you will be sad the rest of the year. I want you, because we already know the best saying is a happy wife, a happy life. I want you to be happy every day. So carry the spirit of the holidays with you throughout all 12 months. And that's all I have to say, ladies. That's it. That's me. And I got to tell you, that was off the cuff. I'm going to do that more often. I love it. But you know, Nakia, it's time for another commercial break, girl. We can. I think me and you could talk forever.
Yes,
forever
and I just
together.
Absolutely love it.
Well, guys, we are going to take another commercial break, and we want to hear from you. So we want you to follow us on Facebook. We are Happily Married Wife on Facebook. We are Happily Married W on Twitter. And our website is Happily Married Wives, WIVES.com. On our radio show page, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. But when we come back, Nakia and I are going to share what our favorite moments of this show was, what we learned from each other, and we will be right back after this commercial break.
If you were designing the perfect dating site, what would you include? A private voice or video chat room? A private photo gallery and profile area? How about matches based on similar interests? And to keep it special, you can add profile blocking, no third-party intervention, spam protection, and even monthly drawings for great prizes, and more. That's exactly what you'll find at milesapart.dating. Visit milesapart.dating today and get a free 1-year membership while they last. That's milesapart.dating.
This is Benita of Off the Vine with Benita and Terracina. Join us every Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the May We Help You Radio Network. Our show is simple. It is about wine, and wine is fun. Listen in and laugh with us. You'll never know, you just may learn something too. So grab your glass, you know that's the rule, and tune in for a most exciting hour. Hey, we're just two girls at work just waiting to wind up. Listen in on Fridays at 3 o'clock, right here on the May We Help You Radio Network. Off the Vine with Benita and Terracina. Something to whine about.
Have you ever pondered the true meaning of life? Why the world is filled with greed, evil, and corruption? Or if you could truly live forever? The answers to some of these questions are hidden in plain sight and are answered beyond a shadow of a doubt in the new book entitled Wake Up to the World's Best Kept Secrets. Some of the best kept secrets hidden in plain sight. These questions and much more are answered with irrefutable living proof, but more importantly, substantiated with profound biblical scriptural evidence used to support these eye-opening truths, with a heavy focus on the current state and plight of the so-called African Americans and black descendants of slaves scattered all around the world. This yet-to-be-released book will undoubtedly change his story as you know it. Wake Up to the World's Best Kept Secrets will truly enlighten or re-educate the so-called African Americans and black descendants of slaves scattered all around the world. To read this eye-opening first chapter, please visit SeventhDayPublishing.com.
And welcome back. We are still here at the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast. I'm Latisha M, and I got to tell you, I found this young lady. I told you guys earlier, I'm just a guest on this show. This is not the normally partner that I'm going to have, but I found Miss Tomiko Jenkins, and she is super ready and excited to really pour into you ladies. Now, Tomiko, I know that you missed the first half of the show, but I'm so glad you was able to make it with me.
Oh, my goodness. I tell you what, no one's more excited than me to be here for this. I am just so excited and completely jazzed at the opportunity to be able to share. I am Tomiko Jenkins. I am the happily ever after therapist, and I am a happily married wife. I'm a licensed trained therapist. I actually practice in the state of Georgia, and so I get so tickled pink at opportunities to come and be with my other happily married wives just to deposit some tips and strategies that are easy breezy that can help contribute to your happiness as a wife, your happiness as a couple, and if you are raising a family, we want everyone to be happy, healthy, and well. And so what I'm going to be talking about tonight is you are not alone. How to get help so that you can get healthy and get happy. I know, Latisha, oftentimes couples, particularly on their wedding day even, hear from other seasoned couples one of the number one rules, and people kind of spin this like it's the secret sauce, right, that, girl, don't have nobody all up and in your business. And so I've certainly shared before that I'm a newlywed. I got married in February of this year, and I heard that. I heard that from a couple of aunties and mentor-type women, and I think that it's all well-intentioned, and it can have some wisdom and truth to it, but we need to break that down a little bit because there's some elements of that we need to challenge so that we have couples that are thriving and vibrant. So I'm just wondering, Latisha, have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard, girl, don't have anybody in your business when it comes to your marriage?
Oh, you know I have. That is not just the old lady wives tell. Honey, the new ladies are saying that now. That is the thing to tell your girlfriend.
Right, and I think, as we enter and continue to thrive through this era of social media, we have Facebook, everyone's on the gram, you're Snapchatting, there's this protectiveness around what we share and what areas of our lives we should allow people access. And so I'm certainly never going to recommend an all-access backstage pass to your marriage, that you certainly shouldn't be chatty Cathy about the intimate details of your marriage with just any old body. But certainly we can identify safe spaces, safe faces and friends that you may be able to share your concerns with, just because there are things that go down, that happen in marriages that can be heavy. And I think friends, some really trained professional folks can really help share the load of that so that your marriage isn't buried under all the heaviness, all the baggage of some of the things that can happen. And so, Latisha, as I shared, I'm a licensed trained therapist, and so I'm here to tell you, if you want a vibrant, healthy, and well marriage, you have to commit, and I mean agree with your full heart. And I'm going to even challenge some folks out there to say it with me, just so that the energy behind your words can really catch some fire and really hold you to commitment. I want a happy, healthy, and well marriage, so I will ask for help when I need it, okay? And so asking for help when you need it is totally different than the gossip train, being chatty Cathy about the things that your husband or wife did or did not do. This is recognizing a need for help and identifying the people that you have in your circle, the people that you can hire to onboard, to be on the front seat of your audience to help your marriage. So we're going to chat just real briefly about this vibrant marriage, the fact that you are not alone, the fact that you can tell someone your business. You can tell someone your business, the secret sauce, which goes against the wisdom that some of our grandmas, aunties, and now as Latisha helped me to recognize some of even our sister friends and our circles are telling us, you can tell someone, you can ask for help. So I just want to share just some really quick, clean tips that will hopefully relieve some wives that are on the call tonight to really release some of the baggage and heavy that's happened so that you can enjoy a vibrant marriage. So over the weekend, I had this opportunity to share space with 4 other couples. My husband and I went over to one of our friends, their home, and they hosted a lovely 5-course meal. We have some friends that are chefs, so they prepared it in the kitchen. I mean, Latisha, it was laid. All the etiquette was on deck just in terms of what fork to use. This is the proper spoon you use for this. And just picture us. I mean, we were sipping wine. We enjoyed those 5 courses. We laughed, and we talked about how good our God is. And we did this with other married couples. And I hope you get the visual. The candles were lit. It was yummy. We had such a good time. And so it was an opportunity to come together with 5 other marrieds to celebrate a good friend over a good meal. And we got to chat about some things that were happening in the lives of our friends who were also married. And so what I want to share in this really yummy experience is how sharing with other married couples can really help normalize some of what you perceive as the quote-unquote madness that's going on in your house. Because I share something that's happening with me, how I'm feeling about something. Another wife can kind of co-sign. I mean, we were slapping high fives and laughing and, oh, girl, did you know? I also go through that too. And so suddenly you're sitting amongst friends that you trust and you love, right? And they are normalizing things that you are showing up with in your household, and that becomes the awesome sauce. Now, of course, we want to limit what we're talking about at the dinner table. Now, this is not the opportunity to talk about really serious disagreement that you might have had with your husband about X. You fill in the blank. This isn't the opportunity to share some of those really intimate moments that may be going down. And we'll save when it's appropriate to talk about that stuff for another moment in our conversation tonight. But what I'm talking about here is an opportunity for you, to speak with your husband in advance to this dinner party. Look, we're going to be with friends. What kind of things are okay or not okay to talk about? Just set some limits up front. What are the boundaries? Go to this dinner party or this bowling event or whatever it is that you're going to go and do, and really have some light conversation about whatever may be going on with your friends or going on with you, and developing some sort of signal between the two of you if a line is being crossed. So you got to be really connected with your husband to know, okay, we're kind of going down a road here that hubby doesn't want to do, is uncomfortable, and just really cutting it short. But giving yourself permission to talk openly with people that know you, you know them, and it becomes this process of exchange of information. You're learning from each other. You're validating your experiences. And it's so necessary that we do that because we can't operate in silos. You cannot survive in your marriage just being in your marriage. You need to be able to have other relationships with other people that share the experiences that you may be having or having different experiences. But the idea here is that you can grow and learn from others, right? And so I know right away, Latisha, somebody's going to challenge me. We don't have no friends. We don't trust anybody to hang around or whatever the reason is. And so this is where I'm going to nudge everyone that's listening tonight. If you don't have a couple or two, you may not have that visual of 5 other couples. I was actually surprised as well after the event. I said to my husband, wow, this was so much fun. It's so awesome that we have this sort of village set up, that we can have this experience. But I totally get that that's not the norm. But we do need to challenge us in our relationships to have at least one other couple so that you aren't alone on this island. You need opportunities to laugh and to share what's working for you, what's not working for y'all, types of stuff. And so we need to chat through real quickly. You know, Latisha, I mean, so many couples as a therapist, I do couples therapy often, and other couples don't have other couples. Do you and your husband enjoy relationships with other couples, Latisha?
Yes, we do. And at first we didn't. We were like the ones amongst our friends who were kind of the only couple, and some of the other couples we knew weren't doing so well enough that we felt comfortable with being around them because they were always, you know, in dispute. It was always uncomfortable. But now, yes, we do.
And see, I love that because I think that is really the norm for a lot of folks. You look around, the quality of marriages these days, for some people, isn't that great. People find themselves struggling in their marriages, and so you got to be intentional around who you let in. You want to be able to hold each other up. And so I want to talk just really quickly around, like, how do you get this sort of yummy village? How do you discover friendships that will add to your marriage, that will allow you to stand in community with another married couple? And so that's when I want us to start looking around at our church groups, looking around on the soccer field or the football field if you have kiddies that you're taking to participate in extracurriculars or at the PTA meetings. I want us to look around at special interest groups. If you're someone that likes to run, from time to time I'll get up in the morning and do the Black Girls Run, and there are other women there running that also have hubbies as well, or if you like to bowl, whatever you're interested in, whatever you spend your time doing, these are opportunities to seek out other couples that may be a good fit for you and your husband. And so church groups, oftentimes, as we know, will have these events or activities or special Bible studies for marrieds. And so that's an excellent opportunity to potentially find like-minded other couples that you may be able to establish a bond. And I want to be real clear here. This is another relationship. So much like the one that you may have developed with your husband, you need to give yourself opportunities to date, if you will, to court other couples. It doesn't have to be this automatic where you're going on family vacations with another family sort of thing. Give yourself a chance to go on a dinner or have someone over and kind of feel it out. And if it's not a fit, it just isn't. We don't have to force relationships with other couples. But that my point is that we're open to that idea that in another marriage, your husband may be able to have some sort of mentorship or brotherhood, and you can have some sisterhood with someone else, all with this intention of supporting each other. It's a really amazing, good thing that adds value. And I know for my marrieds who have children, one of the challenges may be that you have kids, and who's going to babysit these kids? We can't just be out and about. And I get all of that, the potential safety issues, right, that come up when you think about somebody having to watch your kids if you don't have family in town, or heck, even if you do have family in town, they may not be that family that you want your babies to go over their homes. And so we even have to get help in that area, that we don't want your having children to always mean that you can't go outside of your walls, the walls of your house. So I have couple friends that have very tight rules around that, and I get it, and we respect it, and they just end up hosting a lot of things at their home. And we go over there, and we set the kids up with games, and they have toys. The kids are playing in one room, and the adults are somewhere in another room laughing and eating. And if you enjoy wine, like, some of my friends and I do, you can have a glass of wine, and everyone's safely in one house. That's one way to do that. The other way to do that and to really get some help around that is to seek out some of the resources that allow you to be partnered with some sort of sitter that has had a background check, and you, of course, interview them. You check out that background screening. You call resources and screen, and do it that way. Get a nanny cam in your home. Have some real clear conversations with your children that are of age around okay and not okay touches, and have someone come over and sit for your babies, a college student perhaps, the next door neighbor's a teenage child or college-age student, but really being intentional around that based on what you're comfortable with. I'm never going to push anyone to go against what they're comfortable with, but not allowing yourself a vibrant friendship with another couple because of the kids, I'm going to tell you, isn't what I would recommend. I would recommend that we look around how we can be creative around that. So I hope that certainly makes sense to you. I do want to transition and really have some direct conversation, and this is where I'm going to pull out my therapist hat. I did share at the top of the hour that I am licensed trained. I've been in the therapy space over 10 years. This is what I love to do. I'm passionate about helping marriages and individuals thrive and be well. And so a lot of folks don't do couples therapy. And I'm very clear that a lot of people, for a lot of reasons, are uncomfortable with this idea of having or needing to go to therapy. The quote-unquote, we're not doing that bad, we're not that crazy. As a therapist, I don't know what people mean when they say that. I get it on a lot of levels, but certainly as a therapist, I'll share with you, I go to therapy. In my journey with my husband, we did pre-engagement work, premarital work. We go to couples therapy. It's really about, I like to be proactive. I enjoy being able to share space with someone that this is what they do, that can give us some skills and strategies that can just help us. Someone that can see something that maybe we don't see. It's having someone all up in our business see this. Like we talked about in the front, who can you tell? You can tell a therapist. They are bound to ethics. They cannot legally share your business, right? You have hired them to take a peek into your marriage, into your stuff, and help you see, maybe we need to turn right here where we turn left, and help us get back on track. So that's one way of doing it before something happens. And then certainly as a therapist, I've worked with couples after something has happened, and that can be a number of things. Let's be clear, 1 in 4 people will have a mental health diagnosis in their lifetime, 1 in 4. So I don't know how many people we have listening to us this evening, but I'm going to tell you, in our relationships, in our marriages, it's a possibility that your partner may have depression, may have symptoms of anxiety, may have had something happen in their childhood or adulthood that's causing them some distress, and they may need help. It may start impacting your marriage. There may be infidelity. There may be some sort of other betrayal that could happen in your marriage, right? And so not to be heavy, but that's the real talk. You're with someone that you vow to be with forever. Some stuff's going to come up. And a therapist is a very safe way to share what's happening, what happened, and get some help, y'all. And people go to school for many years to do this. This is their area of expertise. Let them help you. Give yourself permission to allow someone to help you. And there are all kinds of licensed trained therapists. I met a really neat Christian sex therapist the other day. There are folks that specialize just in marital, licensed marriage and family therapists are amazing at getting in there, seeing what's what, helping you build solutions. Because sometimes what I see is something will happen in your marriage, and it happened, and we're dancing around the elephant, we're sweeping it under the rug, and it grows. And you've not given yourself permission to be happy. It doesn't have to be that something happens and you're miserable for the rest of your lives together. That thing, fill in the blank, can happen. And you can get someone in there to partner with you and your husband and turn that thing around. And you can experience solutions, strategies, interventions that will allow you to build on that. Now we're closer than we've ever been. The intimacy has developed on a way deeper level because we allowed ourselves the opportunity to be vulnerable, gave ourselves permission to get help, and look at this. We're well. We're happy. And so many people don't even entertain the idea of therapy, individual, family, couples, because we think it's for them, whoever that is. No, it's for you. You could really use therapy for you and your marriage. So there are so many resources to identify who may be best for you. You know, the most simple thing to do would be to hop on Psychology Today. But I will also offer myself. You could email me, Tomiko at lifemakeovertherapy.com, and I'd be happy to help you seek out a resource, a licensed trained therapist that might be the best fit for you. And so certainly also I'll just add that there are support groups that you can go to. You know that really yummy visual I gave you of me and my husband with the other 5 couples, and we're laughing and talking about life and marriage, where there are support groups that have that look and feel, and there's a licensed trained therapist that is, you know, in that space to be with you and those other couples with the intention of helping you all process stuff. And so you can go to a support group that can be identified based off of what you're wanting to focus on. If we want to develop communication, it's the number one. Communication, finances, we often see percolate as trouble spots in marriages. And so you can go to a support group with other couples and a therapist, and all we're talking about is how to better communicate, right? You will just go in, we'll focus on, listen, guys, 2 ears, 1 mouth. You need to listen as much as you speak. Your ears don't close. Your mouth does. And so just really laughing and talking about those kinds of things can really help you and your marriage thrive so they can be vibrant and satisfying. And so I don't know if you've heard of Radical Love. That's another really good kind of group-based, educational marriage intervention that I often refer to. It is church-based. But certainly if that's not your thing, then we can take that off the table. If that is something that you subscribe to, that is one that I would say Google that now and see what churches in your area may have a Radical Love group where you are. Latisha, have you ever heard someone talk about how much they don't ever would go to therapy, never would go to therapy, never considered therapy? What's your lens on therapy, Latisha?
I hear that a lot, and especially when you're dealing with a couple who may need to speak to someone, not just, about them themselves, but about their relationship. And I think that sometimes just having that person to be able to file away the mess, be able to comb through what the real issue is, and to give tips and show ways that the couple can heal is always a positive thing.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. I love it. It's one of those things, Latisha, the best way I break this down is if your husband has a heart condition, if you show up and you have something going on with your kidneys, we don't sit around the house and just, have the heart thing or the kidney thing. We go straight to the doctor. For the most part, we'll go and see the doctor and allow them to examine our heart, tell us we need to take this, do that, and we, do it for a lot of people. But it's something about the mental health or something about the emotional stuff that we don't respond the same to. We don't see it as a need the same way we see as the physical health stuff. And so as a therapist, I always challenge that thinking and say, look, it is the same. We're talking oftentimes something that's related to the brain chemistry in mental health spaces. And so, the brain, the major organ of your body, absolutely. You need to go and see someone that is trained to help you address whatever may be going on. And so those emotional wounds, you need someone helping you to clean those up, much like if I fell down and sprained my ankle, I'm going to go and have someone look at my ankle and bandage it up and tell me to use these crutches or whatever the treatment plan, whatever the recommendations are. So this is the exact same. And so I hope that is helping to relieve someone around this pressure to not go and seek therapy when you need it, that it's the same as any medical symptoms, any medical diagnosis. You need someone in there with you to help clean that up. It's trained to do that. And so, again, reach out to me, leave comments on the Happily Married Wife website or Facebook or Twitter, and let us know any hesitations, what help I may be able to offer you to help you get help around that. And so when I was going through the information regarding therapy, I did mention Radical Love, and I hit on the fact that it is it's considered a spiritual, religious type of group-based intervention. And so I do want to touch on religious, spiritual, however you couch it in your house if you do. And so this next piece may not be for everyone. I want to acknowledge that at the top. But for my married that believe in a higher power, believe in God, the power of a creator, I do want to talk about prayer, meditation, prayer being what we acknowledge as talking to God, and meditation being what we acknowledge as listening from God, higher power, creator. I do want to talk through this a bit because it's really interesting, Latisha. So I'll work with a couple as a therapist, and they'll come in and they'll tell me, okay, I'm a Christian, I'm a non-denominational, fill in the blank, and they believe in this power of prayer. And so I'll ask, okay, do you pray together? Do you pray for your husband or wife? And what do you think they tell me, Latisha? They say no. And it's like, and I'm sitting there as a therapist. On the inside, I would never show up that way. On the outside, on the inside, my mouth is really wide open because I'm thinking, okay, you believe in this higher power and this power that your God may have, that you believe that they do have, and you have this opportunity to pray together. For my friends that are Christians, we believe, I'm a Christian, that where two or more gather, there he is in the midst. So you, your husband, have this opportunity to be together, pray, and invite God in to be there with you in the midst, and you don't pray together. And then even if we're not doing that, we're not praying individually for each other. So it's a really interesting thing. And so what I understand about prayer is oftentimes folks kind of feel like with the busyness of the day, they're fully intended. They want to pray. They understand that, they should, quote unquote, they should pray more, but don't for whatever reason. And so listen, I'm not here to judge that, to get all up in your prayer closet and tell you what you should or should not be doing, how many times a day, what that should look like, be like. What I will offer you this is all the research points to people that believe in a higher power and invoke or invite that higher power into their situation, get better faster and longer. And that's in the research. That's not a Tomiko-ism. For folks that believe in the Bible and whatever other religious or spiritual faith you may be believers in, you'll say, oh, absolutely. You know that to be true, right? But they have done scientific research around just the power of prayer and what it does and how it helps. And so that is a hands down tool that I would say right away, if you don't do anything else, I invite you to pray about all things for each other, with each other, releasing this idea that there has to be an amount of time that you pray, what that sounds like. It doesn't have to sound like the pastor at the front of the church. It's just a simple, God, be here with us. Amen. If you pray in the name of Jesus, however you pray and your husband pray. But I would absolutely say, hey, look, pray. Pray, meditate, do affirmations, speak things into existence, into your marriage, journal and write those things out. That there's power in your words. And so that is absolutely something that I would say daily, often as you can. Develop a routine, a lifestyle around prayer. And prayer is, to me, different than, religion. Prayer, to me, is relationship with your God, with your higher power, your creator. Whatever that looks like, feels like for you, there's an opportunity to invite that power in to help you experience vibrancy, to have a healthy and whole marriage relationship so that you can be a happily married wife. I truly believe that your God, my God, our creator wants that for you, that he designed marriage to be this opportunity for you to experience happiness and joy and fullness. And that's not to say that things aren't going to come up. We are promised things are going to happen. but that this then becomes your go-to to help really combat whatever is going on. And we certainly understand for folks that believe in the power of prayer that you want to do that in advance. You want to do that as a lifestyle so that it's just not when something goes down that we're praying. Any relationship with anyone you want to have daily communication with as a lifestyle, not just when you need something, want something. And so I don't want to sound preachy around this, but I just want to say I do really prescribe relationships with your God in your marriage as a very practical tool. If you believe, allow your God in. And, most people believe that God is a gentleman, that his spirit is not going to come in where he or however you believe God to show up to be will not come in where the spirit is not invited. So you have to invite the spirit in. And so if this is something that you're uncomfortable with doing or you don't know the words, there are lots of books. I really like Stormy or Martian's Power of a Praying Wife, Power of a Praying Woman, husband and woman. Gives you just words to say, the actual prayer. You can just read it out loud.
Well, Tomiko, let me ask you this, because I know we're going to be going to a commercial break real soon. If people want to connect with you outside of this broadcast, because you have given such amazing examples, and I think if anything that we have taken away from you today is that don't be afraid to seek outside help for your marriage, but don't be the gossiper in your marriage.
Yes, that's right.
But, so how can we get in touch with you if we want to learn more or to see how we can talk to you about our marriage?
Yes. So you can email me at Tomiko, Tomiko, at lifemakeovertherapy.com. And I am Tomiko Jenkins on all the social media channels, so Facebook, Twitter. Just reach out to me. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may have or challenge anything that I may have said tonight. I also love to hear from folks that maybe don't agree. Or if you do agree, I'd love to hear from you with those words as well.
Awesome. It's just been amazing. And I know when you come back next month and, can be with your partner, Nakia, you guys are going to rock that show.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be amazing.
Awesome. Well, everybody, like we said, we have to pay the bills. It's unfortunate, but your bills get paid by you, and our sponsors pay ours. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We are going to be right back with the conclusion of the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast for today.
Hi, I'm Rita Ricks, host of Spirit Journeys Radio, airing every Tuesday evening from 8 to 9 o'clock. We're talking this month about sharing your gifts. No, not the ones you purchase, but the ones you came to this planet with. Learn how to identify your gifts so that you can live a happier, more fulfilled life because you're living in and sharing your gifts. Join us so you can start this month to create a more abundant 2016. Welcome to the MWHY Radio Network.
Are you depressed? Are you stuck in a rut? Do you need interpretations to your dreams? Do you need a word from God? Do you need help resolving spiritual issues? Prophet Yao Yerboa Safro has helped people from all walks of life and would love to help you too. Visit www.getconsole.net. That's www.getconsel.net. The Redemption Outcry International, where your spiritual needs are a priority.
Brought to you by
on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network. Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on May We Help You Radio Network.
So on the May We Help You Radio Network.
MWHY Radio Network.
May We Help You Radio.
On the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Broadcast Network. The network that helps you.
And welcome back, everybody. This is the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast. Woo-hoo! We are almost tying it up. We've had such a great time. I am Latisha M.
And I am Lady Nakia.
Lady Nakia was throwing down. I get to go first because, you went first in the beginning. So now I get to tell you what I learned. Because everybody, this is the segment where we're going to share with you what we even learned from each other, because this is not scripted. I don't get to see what Nakia is going to say. She doesn't know what I'm going to say, so this was just really a really great show. But some of the things that I learned, and I really did take notes. I have some notes down here, okay. The first thing that you said, everything that you said was great, by the way, anyway. I'm hiring you for an event. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm working with you. But the thing that some people need to think about, and it's in marriages, but you know what? Before you get married, it starts in courtship. If you are dating someone and you seem to always be the one who gets broken up with, you are the common denominator. When you said that, I said, Lord, some of these single young ladies who are wanting to get married or have been engaged more than one time, they need to think about who is the common denominator. It doesn't mean that the other person does not have fault. We are human.
Right.
But you have to check, not to say what's wrong with you, but how are you relating to others?
That's right. You're right.
I love that. And then I loved your breakdown of the different love languages, and the three that stood out for me was the service, the receiving gifts, and the physical touch. And the reason why receiving gifts stood out to me is, like you said, it's not about diamond rings, pearls, and all of the, inexpensive trips. When I first got married to my husband has known me since I've been in high school. I am not a stranger to him. We did not get married young. He is my second husband. But right after we got married, for the first 2 weeks, I will repeat this, ladies, because y'all want a man like this. The first 2 weeks of our marriage, I got a gift every day.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Every day he came home, he had something new for his new bride. It could have been a box of chocolates. It could have been flowers. Then he decided he wanted to get me a new bathroom, so he bought all new stuff for the bathroom.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So it was something. I had new comforter sets. It was just, he would just be out and he would see something that he knew would bring a smile to my face. And it could have been $5, it could have been $100, it could have been more. He would just buy it and bring it home because he is a giver and a lover. And I really, really love that. And I didn't even think about, I know my husband loves physical touch, but I didn't think about that as being his love language. When he comes home and he hadn't had a great day, I'm too busy talking to him about it because I'm a people watcher, so I want to see your emotions. I want to hear what you have to say. But when we're sitting on the couch, I do rub his head. But now I know to change up my game is to touch him more. Now, I've been married. This is my 10th year of marriage with this man, and we have been together for 14 years, and we have been schoolmates.
Mm-hmm.
But that right there, I just got a lesson in what I need to do. You hear me? I'm telling you, I'm calling Nakia late at night. Lakia, I need to put on my red dress, right?
Yes, I love it.
But I'm telling you, I so appreciate you for sharing and really pouring into your presentation for us this evening. That was amazing.
Amen. I love it. Well, Latisha, I guess I could tell you what I learned from you because it's not anything unfamiliar that you and I have been talking about, but it's you said something that really touched me as well, saying that we need to cherish the moments that we have during the holidays because as we see, tomorrow is not promised. And so I try to make sure that, like I said, in spending time with my mom, because my sister's not here, just making sure that I let her know that while I have her still, that I cherish her. So I think that was very important for me. And also, you said it's not about the gift or the gift giving. And so I think sometimes we get so caught up in, just making sure that we have something when it's really Jesus' birthday anyways. It's not even our birthday. So why should we be getting a gift anyways, And so my husband, at one point, this is really funny because my husband was so down on himself one year. I had worked for the school system, and I didn't work in the summer. So a lot of times we would have to put back, just so that we would be okay during the summer while I was off. So that meant that sometimes with having the Brady Bunch like I have, we didn't have a lot during the Christmas season. And so my husband would get so down on himself because he felt like he couldn't get the kids anything for Christmas. But then once we realized that wasn't what was the most important part, it was being able to wake up on that day just to see the smiles on their faces that they had for whatever they had. And then also we got to spend another holiday with one another. Now what we do is, instead of going out and buying our kids all these expensive gifts that they only play with once, if any time from being in the closet, we bless another family. And so we try to make sure that our kids understand that it's about giving back and it's not always about giving. Receiving. So that part.
And you know what? I like that you said that. That's me and my husband. We don't have children. However, we used to throw big parties for, the holidays and invite a lot of people over and have gifts to give. So one of the traditions that we started to do was, instead of buying ourselves all of these gifts, because we used to shower, especially when I had a high-paying job, don't girls, sing it to the mountain. We used to shower each other with so many different gifts. We started to get into the habit of, listen, you only need one gift, and maybe I only need one gift. And our second gift to each other is always a new pair of pajamas.
Yeah.
So that we wear our holiday pajamas the whole day of Christmas and maybe even the next day, feeling how froggy we are, So, and we made sure that we, you know what I'm talking about, but it depends. We may just decide to just give to someone else. So, we may not even give that one gift to each other, but we're always going to give ourselves pajamas, and then I might give to somebody else who I know their kids, they didn't have a lot to give to their kids this year, so we're going to get them some gifts. So the whole idea of the spirit of the holiday is, like you said, and like I said earlier, it's not about what you're receiving as far as gifts. It's about what are you giving, and especially in your spirit. How are you sharing your spirit with someone else?
I love that. And then, Latisha, one last thing that you said, you was talking about the music, and that always touches me when you said music or what you pour into you, it pours out of you. So the music, it makes you feel good, and it makes you get in the spirit, and then it helps you to love life more. So this is what I teach my women that are in the ministry. I said, what are you reading? Because if you're not pouring into yourself, then you're not getting anything out of the situation. I'm saying, if you're reading and you're reading positive things, Battlefield of the Mind, like I said, 10 Rules of Dating, Mom Vernon has a book called I Am Victory. If you're reading all of these things and it's positive things that you pouring into you, there is no way that you would have a negative atmosphere or a negative outlook on life. You would learn to enjoy, the mood, and you would have a pleasant time during the holiday seasons and every day of your life. Put it that way.
There you go. Oh, we learned some stuff from each other, girl. Woo. I'm over here fanning like, woo, this was a good show. But you know what, Nakia, I just want to share with everybody how they can follow us. But before I do, I know people are going to want to connect with Miss Lady Nakia Johnson after this broadcast. How can they do that?
Well, my name is Lady Nakia, or at Nakia_Johnson1 on Twitter. My name on Instagram is Lady Nakia. My name on Facebook is Nakia Johnson. And you can also reach me at Lady Nakia at tpcindy.org. That's tpcindy.org.
I love it. I love it. Well, everyone, if you want to get in touch with any of the women from the Happily Married Wives brand, also myself, because I'm actually the person running the website, feel free to visit us at happilymarriedwives.com. Here's why you want to visit our site every week. We have an amazing blog that's done by all the women of the brand. It updates every Monday at 10, so another one dropped this morning, so you want to go there and check that out. And it's done by a different woman every time, and so you get to be poured in differently from us and learn more from us. You can also share, comment, and like it right there on the site. You can listen to re-airs of the broadcast from our radio page and even comment, leave us a message, tell us your story. As a matter of fact, like Lady Nakia and I gave you some great information tonight. Tell us what you learned. We want to hear from you, so comment right there. It'll come to me, and I usually pass it to the appropriate person, and we will talk about it the next time that we're on the air. So we just love to hear from you. Like us on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and all of that other great stuff. And we're also on the MWHYRadio.com's website, so you can go there and learn more about the other shows that's on the broadcast. So you know what? I just want to thank everybody for listening tonight. You have been amazing. Lady Nakia, you have any follow-up words?
I do not. I just hope that you guys are blessed by the segment this evening. If you were, please go and leave us a comment or a message. If you have any questions or concern and you want to learn how to spice up your relationship, or you want to know how to find out what your spouse's love language is, or, just to talk some personal things, if you have any questions or want a response, just reach out to us. I would love to talk with you.
Awesome. So everybody stay tuned for next week's show, next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jessica and Nicole, that's going to be on the 30th. So we love you, and we will see you soon. Good night.
Good night.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast. I know Lady Nakia Johnson, Tomiko Jenkins, and myself, Latisha M., gave you some love expressions to think about this holiday week. Tune in next week to hear from Jessica Taylor and Nicole Mason. Until then, follow us on Facebook, Happily Married Wives, Twitter, Happily Married W, and visit our website, www.happilymarriedwives.com.